Hello and welcome to the Mind Mappers talk show where people or two mind mappers from across the globe meet together to have conversations around mind mapping and all the stories and how it has transformed their life and the life of others. So today we have a very special guest with us who had been mind mapping for close to 3 decades now. Yes, you heard me right, close to 3 decades. And the amount of mind maps or the range of applications for which she uses mind maps for herself and for her clients are just amazing. You will really find this conversation very insightful because it's going to be mind blowing. I had the opportunity to talk to her in the past also. And once again, I'm bringing her to this show, the Mind Mappers Talk Show. Yes, without any further delay, we have Ms. Liz Kimura here, and she has been recognized as one of the pioneer in her country in teaching this technique called mind mapping. So let's give her a warm welcome. Welcome to the show, and we are so privileged and honored to have you with us here. So welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shivra. It's such an honor to represent Brazil here in your talk show, even though I don't look like a typical Brazilian. My grandparents immigrated from Japan to Brazil, and I am from the third generation, so I was born and raised in Brazil. I do speak Portuguese as my mother language, so I'm so happy that internet allowed us to meet, even though you are in India and I am here in South America. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And we would love to know, and I'm sure a lot of our audience would love to know, that how did it all start? How did you think that, okay, this is what my life is all about, or this is what my profession is going to be? Like, how did you come across mind mapping in the first place in your life?
Well, it was in 1995. I was in law school, and I really didn't enjoy what I was studying. I was like, this is not for me. I think I don't like law. But I went like first year, second year, third year. In the fourth year, I was like, I hate all of this. So here we studied 5 years, and 1996 was going to be my last year. And I said, no, I said, I'm going to quit. I don't want to take it anymore. And everybody was, are you crazy? In the very first year, no, 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 no. If you thought about quitting, you should have done it in the first or maybe second year. But now, no. But it was like, oh, I cannot stand it anymore. And then they told me, why don't you mind map all your classes? My mind what? I have never heard about mind mapping before. So this is the book. We have civil rights. This book actually is the fifth one because civil rights we have during 5 years. And since the very first year, the law teacher would say, don't get married, don't get divorced, don't die until the fifth year because we were going to study family law. And then everything about sharing the heritage and, all your wills, and we should wait until the fifth year. So this is about almost 400 pages book that in a few minutes we made this mind map.
Wow.
And when I first saw it, I thought to myself, that's something wrong. Because, I'm short and I'm not a toddler anymore. I'm not a little girl that plays with colorful markers. I'm already grown-up woman, young woman, and I'm not, playing with colorful markers or making little drawings anymore. And I would tell that, I studied law, and law is something very serious. And I was told that, mind mapping is also something very serious. I thought it was a joke, but nevertheless, I didn't have anything to lose. After all, I wanted to quit. So I started to take notes from every single class, every single day, from all the subjects that I was studying. And like these are the next pages, because here we have one chapter for one branch. And then this is the first one was introduction. So in the next page, instead of introduction be just one branch, it was the main theme was in the middle of the page, and then we would zoom and see the details, and that's how it follow in the next pages. It is right here, the real one. So it was in a drawing
This is amazing.
notebook. So this one just fall down, and here are, oops, it's upside down. I have all the next pages.
Oh.
So all the drawings that I could do was making a copy from the very first page. And then these were awful, ugly mind maps
These are
that
amazing.
hopefully I was able to improve my technique.
Oh.
But at that time, the bar exam would be in two exams. One, the first one would be multiple choices, and the second one was an oral exam. So since the very first year, every bimester, we would have this oral exam to practice. So when was this fifth year? The first bimester in this oral exam, when it finished, the teacher told me, "What happened?" And I was like, I'm sorry, master, what do you mean by what happened? Because I couldn't cheat. Cheating on an oral exam is something impossible, because whatever you're looking at, the teacher's in front of you looking at you. And then she said, "What happened to you?" Because I been testing, making these oral exams during 4 years, this last 4 years. And for the very first time, you made a great exam, with very logical ideas, a good range of options. And in the beginning of the semester, you were saying that you want to quit. What happened? Did you decide to fall in love with law? I said, "No, teacher. I still hate very much law, but I have discovered a way to take notes, study, remember, learning, and then being able to answer any question during the exam or test. Would you like to see?" And then when I showed my mind maps, she was, "What?" Like she couldn't take it seriously. So, well, it's weird, but it's working for you, so keep doing. And then in the end of the year, I was able to graduate. So I have a diploma. And then in these two exams of the bar exam, the first one, I was able to be approved. And then in the second one, instead of being oral, became written. And then for the written part, I couldn't get enough points. My grade was not good enough to become a lawyer. But it was really a surprising results that I was able to get during this experience using mind mapping.
absolutely amazing. And I particularly love this because a lot of people, think that mind mapping is, as you say, the first time you saw it, you thought, okay, I'm no more a toddler. Or a lot of people think, okay, even if it's for grown-ups, but then it's more for people who are, right brain dominated, and for creative kind of people, and not for people who are logical and who need to do a lot of analysis. And you have used it for law. And I think that's the beauty of this philosophy, mind mapping. It's not just a tool, as I keep on saying. That's the beauty, that it promotes whole brain thinking. You were studying, you were able to crack a subject, get such a good grade in a subject which is purely logical, which is purely, people think that it is for someone who are left brain. And then you got to, you got good grades and all of that using mind mapping. So
Yes.
definitely it promotes whole brain thinking, and you have just said about it. And in your mind map, you were saying that you used it as the first touch point with mind mapping in your life was using it as a tool for note taking. And I think I share a
Yes.
common experience with you here, because that's how even I started during my masters. And when we were asked to read a lot of research papers particularly, and sometimes it used to be like too tough to remember all of those research paper, I mean, remember the insights and all of that. And again, maybe after a month or two, when we need to review, we had to go back again to that same research paper and maybe just look for the highlighted portions. But the moment I started turning them into a mind map, things became very easy, because I need not go back to the original paper anymore. Anytime I want to review, the simple mind map served as a photograph. It almost served as
Yes.
those photographs that I can see behind you on your screen, something like that. Yeah, the moment you look there, a lot of memories start sparking, and you remember everything actually. So yeah, I
Yes.
think we share a common experience there about note taking. And I must say, it's it was absolutely amazing to listen to how you first encountered, and how it became a part of your life, where you teach people how to mind map all across the country. And could you share with us an example of, what are the various use cases where you teach your clients about mind mapping, and how has it personally or professionally impacted your own life? A little bit about that.
Yes. Because after I graduated from law school, I had the opportunity to apply for a scholarship program in Japan. So I used to study Japanese. I used to prepare myself for this scholarship program. I lived in Japan from during 9 months, from 1997 to 1998. And for example, we were all Brazilians,
Mhm.
like me, what we call Nikkei, which is Japanese descendant. And we were spread out in the 47 provinces of Japan. But even though we look like Japanese, we are truly Brazilians. And then most of the Brazilians, they are Catholic. So Christmas is the most important family gathering throughout the year. And then Christmas, we were there in Japan, a planet away from our families. So I have mind maps that I talk about, that I grab like a handkerchief or maybe a small piece of paper that I don't have this mind map to show. And then it was so amazing that I was able to become ceremonial master of ceremony, conducting the Christmas celebration.
Wow.
And everybody had like lots of papers, many, many, many pages with all the program. And I have everything in one single page. So it's like drawing a Christmas tree and then welcome, all the activities, the dinner, the toast at midnight, the presents that we were, gifts that we were sharing. So I had everything organized in one single page. And I was like, oh my God, it really, because this kind of event makes you have a lot of anxiety. And with the mind map, I could control all of this anxiety because I knew exactly what we were doing, what was going to be the next step, and who is going to help for doing what at what time. So it was everything very well organized. But unfortunately, I don't know where is this paper. It got lost.
But I can
So
visualize. I can quite visualize it.
so during 5 years, I was able to test mind mapping in such a different situations
Mhm.
that I thought, gosh, it really works. So when after Japan, I went to live in Venezuela.
Mhm.
And then when I came back to Brazil and actually decided to move back and live in my country, it was 1999. So it was in the year 2000 that I was thinking, what should I do? Should I try another university? Should I try a post-graduation course? Or maybe an MBA course, or what should they do? And here in Brazil, we have one school to teach entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
So they said that you need to have something different from the market to stand out, and get the attention. So I thought about being an English teacher because I graduated from high school in the United States as an exchange student. So I was like an English teacher in language schools. And I thought, but there are so many English teachers and in languages schools that I would be just one more drop in the blue ocean. So I thought mind mapping is something different. So my first mind mapping workshop in Brazil was in here. I live in Sao Paulo, and it was launched in the WTC, the World Trade Center of Sao Paulo.
Okay.
But it was like this. There was one person that registered, that paid for the fee, but we didn't get like many people in order to have the training happening. So people from the organization would call, say, I'm sorry, we don't have enough people to make the course happen. Would you like your money back, or would you like to be pre-registered for the next group? Oh, no, I don't want my money back. I want to learn mind mapping. And then next month was like, we didn't have enough people again. So would you like your money back? No, I don't want my money back. I
Oh.
want to learn mathematics. So the first group was like my mom, my father, my aunt, my cousin, the employees from WTC, the supplier of the materials. We had like a lot of people, and have one or maybe two paying for the course. And then mind mapping workshop actually happened, because in the beginning no one would come attend a course with someone that they don't know, to learn something that they didn't even know that existed. So more than 2 decades um, ago, it was really hard. But I was like, no, I'm gonna persevere. I'm
You're
gonna make it
determined.
happen. I'm not going to give up. So I have here many mind maps. For example, this one. This is like the 5W2H that a lot of people know.
Yeah.
but I reorganized it in a mind map. It
Wow.
was student of mine
Mm-hmm.
who lives in the south of the country,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I'm not sure if it's like a 3 hour flight from Sao Paulo, something like that. And she called me, Liz, I, I am responsible to organize my mother-in-law's birthday in another city because they had a country house,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's gonna be in that other city. And I said, how am I going to organize the things far away? So I was just making her questions: what, why, who, when, where, how, and how much. And
Mm-hmm.
in this way we organize the checklist, the theme for the birthday, who was going to be invited, when everything was going to happen, where, for example, it was a surprise birthday party. So where were they going to hide the guests? And so how much everything was going to cost, how they were going to make the transportation of the cake and all the foods and beverages. So using mind mapping with the 5W2H, in few minutes, we were able to get new ideas, organize these ideas, and have a plan of action of what to do, and a calendar of tasks. So I was really proud of myself
Wow.
that I
Wow.
was able
This
to
is a
help.
complete kind of event. The complete event planning is here. A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
Complete event planning is here. A to Z. Yeah. Right. From what to who is going to be invited, and I mean everything. The place, the location, what are the things they're going to do. Though I can't read the language, but even then it's creating so much sense to me. And I think this is absolutely amazing.
And I've been helping a lot of companies, private companies, public companies, schools. And for example, I remember when I became a mother, I couldn't believe that the doctor would be only once a month. Yeah, this is one of my notebooks. And for example, these are examples of the doctor appointment.
Okay.
So I would try to make like a cross and draw a baby
Wow.
to, even though when I don't have colorful markers, I make it with a single color, but still using mind mapping. So I wouldn't forget any question to the doctor, because as my first baby, I didn't know a lot of things. So I had millions of questions. So,
Amazing.
and then we get nervous. So sometimes, like, oh, doctor, I had so many questions to ask, but I don't know, something is like it came blank. Can I call you later? And then sometimes you don't have the opportunity to talk again to the doctor. You have to schedule another appointment. And in this way, I would organize all my questions, all my doubts with my daughter, and today she's already 13 years
Wow.
old, and she's taller than me,
Okay.
even though I'm short, so it's not that hard to be taller than me, but
I love your sense of humor. I mean, this is amazing journey from merely using it as just a note-taking tool to get better grades in a subject that you quite didn't like, to then I could actually visualize your Christmas tree and the branches coming out of that. And people would come. I have seen when people give presentation, they would have some sheets of paper, and they would just turn around, miss out this, that. And as mind mappers, we know it becomes so easy to just have even a post-it note is enough, a small central topic, and then the branches. And the beauty is that the amount of energy, time, and internalization that has happened while making the mind map is enough for it to spark all those memories back again the moment you say it. It's just there, the flash of thought. You need something, it's there. You need something, it's there. So that's a beauty. And when I'm seeing your mind maps about the different use cases that you have seen, whether it's a birthday party or anything, even your doctor visits, it's just wonderful. And I'm sure the people whom you teach, they are just privileged to learn so much from you. And the incident that you discussed, that in the beginning, some 2 decades back, it was so difficult to actually tell people that this is such a life changing thing. It's not just for it's not something that it is only for students or it's only for teachers. And today both of us, we understand this fact very well, that it's just for everyone who can think, I would say. It's just for everyone and anyone. So my next question to you is, what are the common misconceptions people have about mind mapping that you have faced till now, and how do you address those challenges?
Yeah, this is really difficult because I have this one, which is the law of mind maps. And then when I was teaching, I said, okay, so here are the laws. Now it's your turn to make your mind maps. So as I would visit the students' tables, I would say, well, this is not what I taught them. It's like communication is really a challenge because you say, you explain, you show, and then when they start making their own mind maps, they do something completely different. So I have this other mind map of do's and don'ts. It's not actually right or wrong, but according to the laws, what would be closer to the law and what would be like you could get like a ticket, that's it's not according to the law. So with the main mistakes by the new mind mappers. So like the challenge is a lot of people grab like a non-linear note-taking and they call it mind map. And to be a mind map, actually, you need to have the central theme, you need to have the main topics, and then the subtopics. It has to be colorful, needs drawings. So that's why I started to follow the hashtag mind map or mind mapping. And then as I would check, I said, well, this is not a mind map. This is not a mind map. This is not a mind map. And oh, look, this is a mind map. This person knows how to mind map. So that's when I first got in touch with you and invited you for my international lives, because when we that are certified instructors, that we know what is a mind map, we can recognize other people from other countries that also knows how to mind map. So I was very happy and honored to be able to host international lives with you from India, with Rosario from Mexico. I got a lady from Samira from France, Christine Goldberg from the United States. I also had the privilege to invite Lian Hughes from Bigger Plate from England. So it's like we have like people from all over the world that knows the difference between mind map and what is just a
not a mind map.
Not a mind map, note taking. So in Portuguese, we have this translation that's from Mastering Mind Maps,
I have
which
this. I have a
Tony
copy of this.
Buzin, shows what's the difference between mind maps and everything, all the others note takings that are not mind map. So this made a big difference. I really enjoyed this book. And uh, the embarrassing situation are those people who watch my presentation or attend one of my classes and then make some kind of drawing and upload in the internet saying, I learned with Liz Kimura. And I go, oh my God, I know that I taught mind mapping, but it's not exactly what the person learned. So
That's a
teaching
huge
and
challenge.
learning are verbs from different people. So not necessarily what I taught was exactly what the person learned. So
Absolutely.
one of the things that I have developed in Brazil is like a mind map club, a mind map community,
Mhm.
so that I can every month get together with my students and help them like transform their note taking in a diamond mind map very well.
Lovely. And I can quite
Improve
relate
it.
to that. During my sessions, I have a slide where the heading is, it's not ready right now, otherwise I could have shown you, but all my students who have taken courses with me, they would relate with this. I have a slide where I write, I look like, but I'm not a mind map. And I show all the different pictures from some mistakes, either drawn by my students, or I have replicated and I have purposely done some mistakes, and some concept maps or different types of just some diagrams, or all of that are put
Yes,
in one slides, and the heading will be, I look like, but I'm not a mind map. And they would laugh.
I
Right?
like it.
So this is so important, because somewhere down the line, over the years, and I'm sure you can relate with this, that we have been trained so much to think, to write, to brainstorm, all in a linear manner. And
Yes,
that is not how brain operates. That is not how brain functions. Brain loves radiant thinking, whereas we have been uh, taught, schooled to completely do things. Even I have seen people, and it's quite natural. We also face the same thing, that when we draw the branches, though it has to be curved, but initially there are people who will draw it straight, and then slowly they will go to curved branches, or they would
use
have this,
ruler.
yeah, use the ruler, have this tendency to write more than 3 4 5 words or sentences. So these are some
Mhm.
challenges we face all the time here in our community as well. And with the in this show, as well as even informally also, whenever I speak to mind mappers from across the globe, and now that we are also speaking, I understand that this is a common challenge. And yes, we have to be more active and tell people that the beauty of mind map lies in the rules. The more we follow them, it's
Yes,
not there to be strictly followed or something, but it's for our benefit. When we follow them, the outcomes will be very effective. Whatever is the purpose, that will be served. So, and that is why this rules, that is, or the do's and don'ts of mind mapping, are actually for the benefit. It is so helpful. I have seen personally, the moment we use the rules, whether it's the curved branches, whether it's that one word, whether it is the images or the colors, it's actually so useful. So I love that, the way you explain the challenges. And this brings me to the next question, that you have been mind mapping for 28 years, or even more than that, close to 3 decades. So,
yes.
though you might have made thousands and thousands of mind map, but as mind mappers, we all have that collection, or maybe one or two, some very special mind maps which are very close to our heart. Maybe we are very emotionally connected with that, or a mind map that have transformed my life, or something of that sort, which is very close to your heart. And we would want, or our audience would want, to know from you about one such map from your life which is very close to yourself.
Well, in 2013, almost 1 decade ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
So, because, for example, one of the things that I had to do is take a blood exam, but I didn't understand if it was like on the doctor appointments day or should it be on the chemotherapy day. And so I could not leave that medical appointment without knowing when was the correct date. So what happened, because, for example, I knew that someone who had cancer would have chemotherapy, because I don't know if you have watched that movie Dying Young with Julia Roberts. That was the first movie that I watched about someone with cancer. So everything that I knew is that the person threw up a lot and become bold. So I didn't know, for example, that it was in the vein that you have this chemotherapy, because I didn't know if it was something like a shot or like a machine that you have to get inside. So everything was like new for me. And then I discovered that I was supposed to have the chemotherapy one day, and in that very same day, at least half an hour, 20 minutes earlier, I need to have blood exam to check my level of, in Portuguese we call it leucócitos. I don't know how you call it in English, but the white cells to
White blood
check.
cells, yeah.
And then it's like a long waiting for the chemotherapy to be ready, and then was about 3 hours and a half with this dropping in your blood. So it's a long treatment. And I didn't know that it would take such a long time, because it was like a year and a half doing this. So I had first the surgery, and after the surgery was the chemotherapy, and then there was radiotherapy, and along these ones, I was having another treatment called Herceptin. And there's even a movie called Proof of Life from Hollywood that would show Dr. What was his name? I have to check. If he was a scientist trying to create a new therapy that wouldn't be so aggressive as chemotherapy, because chemotherapy will kill not only good cells, but not only the bad cells, but the good cells as well. So this Herceptin is like a receptation. It gets like together with protein and then in this how you call key and lock and locks the cancer cell. So I had like many questions, and every month I would have this doctor appointment. No, every 3 weeks, the doctor appointment. For example, it's not possible to make any dentist treatment, because here we have a lot of bacteria. So we could get like an infection. So you cannot do any dentist treatment during chemotherapy. That's why I try to draw tooth that I'm not
Yeah, I
supposed
can
to
see that cross.
to do it. Like traveling is not a good idea as well. And then after the treatment was over, I would have every 3 months doctor appointment, and then every 4 months, every 6 months, and then every year. So this is the logo of the cancer center that I was having my treatment. So in the year 2017, I had an appointment in March 24th, in July 28th, and then it was January, it was September 1st, and then in 2018, February 14th. So now in one page, I could have 4 doctor appointments, because now it was just like a checking moments. So I could like zoom out and have 4, instead of one page, 1 doctor appointment, I had 1 page with 4 doctor appointment. And then in this way, I could have like a larger an overview of my treatment. So this was something that really helped me understand my treatment and check the evolution, and how I'm like cancer-free for almost 10 years now.
Thank you so much for sharing such a, I would say a vulnerable part or an emotional part from your life. And this is, I'm speechless seeing the amount of, I'm sure it must have been a difficult phase of your life, but you made it this way with mind mapping. And I'm sure it gave you also a lot of, it was therapeutic as well, I think, because when you draw, with colors and somehow it's also relaxing in that moment, and it's going to get over, this too will pass away. And it's more like giving you a clarity of the direction that you are going in, instead of just looking at those hospital files and not knowing what to do next and all of that. So yeah, this is, I think, thank you so much actually for sharing this part of your life with us. Yeah.
So I have this, let's see, this was, yeah, this is the original one that I
Okay.
took picture from. And then
This is from
this one,
2017. This is from 2017.
yes, and then here, yeah, this is the very first one, the one that I was showing. And then here, all the,
Wow.
so every doctor appointment, I had um, one mind map, and this is from another doctor that I had 2 types of chemotherapy. The first one was every 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I had like my veins would be able to get ready for the next session. But when I changed it from red chemotherapy to white chemotherapy, the white one was every week. So the vein, it wouldn't be able to get better for the next one. So I had to make a surgery to put what we call a portocart equipment under the skin that would go straight to the heart and start to pump all over the body. And then when I have this doctor appointment, I was told that I had to arrive 2 hours earlier, and I had to be, how do you say that word, that you were not supposed to eat during 8 hours.
8 hour
You
fasting.
have
Yeah,
to,
I understand that.
yes,
Yeah,
fast.
8 hour fasting.
And then when it was like 2 years later, when I was scheduling the surgery to remove this equipment, the doctor finished talking and everything, and then I look back to my 2-year-old mind map, and doctor, am I supposed to arrive 2 hours earlier and fast feast during 8 hours too? Oh, yes, that is important. So the doctor was forgetting to tell me this little detail. Because if I had like breakfast before going to surgery, they would say that I was not be able to go to surgery until I become 8 hours without eating. So it was just like a little very important detail that the doctor was forgetting to tell me, and my mind map from 2 years earlier was able to remind me two checkpoints
That's
that
the
were very
power.
important.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, as you said, checkpoints, or it serves as a checklist as well, and it gives you the big picture as well as the tiniest of tiny details. So yeah, this is amazing.
That makes the whole
And
difference.
and it's so good to know that you have recovered and you're living a good life, healthy life now. And
Yeah,
you
I'm
know
not bald anymore. I have hair.
you're beautiful here, and yeah, you're a fighter. So thank you for sharing this part of your story with us. And as we move forward and almost as we come towards the end, I have two more questions for you. And the first question is, what do you think is the future of mind mapping?
Um, uh, I believe you have watched those VHS, originally VHS, Learning with Lana, that Tony Buzan in the end says that we have like movie stars, rock stars, and then in the future is going to be those brain stars. So people are going to be famous because of their brains. So I believe the future of mind map is going to be like school books, that we are going to have the opening of a chapter with a mind map, and then in the end of the chapter, review of the chapter.
Yeah, kind of
So
summary or
I hope
something. Yeah.
that, yes, the children are going to grow up knowing a red mind map and having developed the skill of a mind map, of identifying what is the center, the theme center, and what is a main topic, what's the difference between a main topic with a subtopic,
Mhm.
and what's the difference between one main topic, when starts another main topic. Because I
Mhm.
remember during law school that I had like one central theme, and the teacher started talking, so I open a branch, and as the teacher would explain, I would write a lot of keywords, and suddenly the class was over. I was, what? Did the teacher change main topic? Because I had like one theme for the class and one main topic, no other main topics, because I couldn't notice,
The
when
change.
uh,
Mm.
would change the main topics. So I believe mind map is one of the soft skills that every human being will develop since school years, since early ages. And then as they grown up, they become adults. During their meetings, they are going to have meetings using mind maps, presentation using mind maps, public speaking with mind maps, where you would look at one keyword and then be able to make your speech without using paper reading word by word.
That's
So I believe that we are going to have everybody from toddlers to teenagers, children's teenagers, adults, elderly, everybody using, and not only for studying, but for working and planning your vacations,
everything.
trip, planning your birthday parties, using mind mapping every day in every area of everyone's lives,
Wow. That
hopefully.
that 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 looks like a wow future. And as you were saying about this future where children have mind maps in their textbooks, so I remember this instance where uh, I was teaching a batch of children in the age group of 10 to 14, 10 to 16 rather. And a fifth standard boy says, I wish I knew this earlier. I said, it's already early. and so 14-year-old, 15-year-old saying the same thing. We wish we knew this earlier so that our physics lessons would be easier, or some said history lessons would be easier. And they were loving it. And I have seen people, uh, when I take classes in my community, I also tell them, practice gratitude using mind mapping, because sometimes people don't want to write long sentences. But if there is a template of a map and you just need to put those words, or even if it is a decision making where maybe a simple decision like you want to buy something and whether you should buy it or not, even that, a simple decision making. So there are so much to mind mapping. And as you said, that we wish that people start using it for every aspect of their life so that they can experience what we have been experiencing for so long, and they understand the kind of joy, kind of the way things become easier. Yeah, whether it's taking a presentation, or for example when I'm talking to you today, for I remember this mind map of mine long back. I'm not sure, very long back, and there's no central images. You see, it starts with that only, and it's there are 4 branches, and I just thought about, okay, this is one of the oldest of old mind maps that I've made, and I've just framed it for that purpose because I really love this. And I thought, okay, if there are only 4 things that mind mapping can do, what would be those 4 things? And those are the 4 branches here. The first one is planning, the next one is creativity, then productivity, and then I write clarity. So these are the simple, so only 4 branches, and from there all those things come that we can use it for goal setting, for breaking down complex projects, and then brainstorming, finding out a solution. There's so much to do with mind mapping. So yes, I hope along with you that
last week last week I have a student that wrote to me and said, "Oh, Liz, you can believe it. I had like such a huge problem in the office, and like a problem that I didn't know how to solve it. I could only find a solution when I mind map it." So she said that she started to mind map, and then she was able to see the solution for her problem. So problem solving, mind mapping is incredible.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that. And as we come to the end of this amazing conversation, and I'm loving having this conversation with you, and we can continue, but we need to have an end somewhere, and only for that purpose. Otherwise I would have continued this for as long as both of us want. So the last question would be, for all those people who might be in the beginning of their mind mapping journey, or they might be just thinking of starting mind mapping, what are your advice to them? Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 advice to those people who might be wanting to start but have not started, or are just in the beginning and they are not finding it very interesting. So what would you like to say to them?
In one of my lives, I was able to invite a friend who is certified in photo reading. And then he said that he noticed his evolution on mind mapping in three steps. So in the very first one was a single color mind map with no images and lots of words. And then as he would improve, he was able to, in a second level, start using colors and keywords. And only in the third level, using keywords, colors, and images. So the advice that I would give is be patient and persevere, because in the beginning looks like a mess, probably. But as you do it again And as you get this clarification of your ideas, and you follow the mind maps laws, mind map rules, you will be improving. So when I look back those horrible mind maps, I say, gosh, I cannot believe that I was able to get an A in the exam with these note taking. But even though you were not respecting all the laws, all the rules, it had helped. And the better you get in the technique, the better results you
Absolutely.
get. So
Absolutely.
nowadays, and I have also interviewed one gentleman who have written a thesis of mind map for project management.
Mhm.
And in his conclusions was that mind map is excellent for scope, for the definition of the scope of the project. And he told him that nowadays he doesn't even need to actually mind map in a paper,
That's
because he has this so clarified that he's already in his mind. He can visualize the central theme, and then visualize all the main branches and all the details for every branch, for each department, each part of the project. So he was saying that today he has developed this mind map skill in such a hard level that he said that I don't even need the paper and pen and markers anymore. I said,
so very
whoa,
said.
oh, that's true. That's true, because that's what happened when I was diagnosed with cancer. I
Mhm.
didn't actually map it. I map every single doctor appointment. But when I got this result, I thought, well, I didn't want it. But as it happened, the good side is there's a treatment. I have
Mhm.
health insurance. Um, the treatment, as soon as I start the treatment, as soon as I will be able to finish the treatment. It's very optimistic, my situation, because the cancer is still small. So I said, well, this is what happened to me. I didn't actually draw the mind map. I just had thought about all the
Mhm.
possibilities, everything that was, okay, so let's start the treatment. So I guess when you get to a certain level, you don't even need the paper to draw, because you can draw it, imagine it in your own mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I think that's the key takeaways, or the key advice that you had given about patience and how it evolves over time when you persevere and when you have that patience, and the entire journey of yours from that note taking in your law school to where you are today, not only helping people from one particular area, but as you said, you are helping a wide range of people. And it is indeed a learning experience for us as well, to see someone doing it for so long and yet believes that yes, it evolves each and every day, and evolve to a point where you don't even need a pen and paper, but you can all visualize it in your mind, and how you have used it in different areas of your life. And maybe we can have a part 2 of this episode sometime other, when we can actually talk about just the use cases or the case studies and the challenges and all of that. But for today, it was an absolutely enriching conversation. It was amazing. And once again, from the core of my heart, I would like to thank you for being on the show. I'm sure our audience would love to talk to you. And for the audience, I would leave the link to all her social media handles at the description box. And you can have conversations with her directly. She's on Instagram, she's on LinkedIn, and I will drop the links below. And yes, thank you so much once again, and have a wonderful day. This is Dr. Shubhra Mukherjee signing off. And in the next episode, we'll come up with some other guest. And until then, have a good time. Take care.
Thank you.